Hello, everyone. It's Thursday night. Welcome to Trekker's Delight as we review the 10th episode, season finale of season 4 of Star Trek Lower Decks Old Friends, New Planet. Now, roll that beautiful bean footage. Hello, everyone. I'm Keith F. Shelvin. Joining me, as always, is William Walford and our show creator, Jermaine, as we talk about this final episode of season 4 of Star Trek Lower Decks and launch ourselves into the great abyss before Star Trek returns in the new year with Discovery. So, William, are you starting us off with a... Oh, welcome, Jason McCammon, also joining us live from Sector 001.
Here.
All right, William, please hit us with the recap.
So, would you like the short version or the long version, Jermaine? You look surprised. Are you okay?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
What's going on? What you got on? You what's your? Are you looking at Twitter or something? What you looking at?
I'm hearing everything twice.
Everything twice?
Everything twice?
I hear everything.
I'm reading a bunch of yahoos.
Well, William's not wearing a headset, so that might be what's throwing him.
You think so?
It's possible.
Let me try this.
Testing.
But I'm not hearing it twice, so
I'm not hearing it twice.
Me neither.
Technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. We will be with you in a moment.
Oh, okay. Jermaine will rejoin us later in the evening.
We will be with you. You know me, I always go for the short version.
Yes, go for the quick recap. We have a lot to talk about.
The guts.
All right, can y'all still hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so here's pretty much what happened. What the hell are y'all doing?
Okay,
Why
you got
playing behind?
now. You know.
Yep. Yeah, Jason, it's already been a whole thing. We've been on the air for 3 minutes. It's already been a whole thing.
You wait till Jason gets here to play footsie. Why? You know he's gonna be on your ass, right?
So we start this episode with a flashback 13 years ago.
So basically, all right. So I totally called it last week that what will make the episode really, really good is if they did like a brief flashback before, and I guess the episode was named Lower Decks. No,
the first duty.
No. The first duty. That's what it was called. The next one was named Lower Decks when she actually got assigned to the Enterprise. Bless her heart. So they managed to do a flashback. We had Sito was back, Nick was back in a sense. The person who was killed in the accident before he was killed, now we knew what he looked like, at least I think we did. And of course Wesley Crusher, where we got Will Wheaton reprising his role. So all the familiar voices were back. They were a little grown, but hey, I love it. I loved every minute of it. I couldn't stop smiling. So we got, and then we actually saw Mariner back when she was a go-giddy, all happy and stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, timeline-wise, I think this was 11 years ago.
It said 13 years ago.
13 years ago. So 13 years ago. Oh, yeah.
We guessed it was 11 by what Memory Alpha said for the timelines of the season. So
right.
So messed with time a little bit.
And Boothby was there.
Yep.
If you paid attention.
He was?
Yeah. In the background, yep.
Oh, Boothby's everywhere. That man never dies. So,
well, unfortunately, the actor Ray Walston is no longer with us, but he can live on in the background of our dreams.
For sure. So we come back and we see Nick is trying to convince Mariner to pretty much join the cause. He just automatically assumes that she's just going to fall in line, and she's like, I think not. because he decided to assert his galaxy stripped privilege and tried to put a call to the whole galaxy on at least on that side of the
Well,
quadrant.
she went around. She went along with it at first.
I mean,
Just-
yeah,
just
because
play it
you
along.
gotta act, yeah.
Just
She went along with it, but you know
see
her.
where
She's
this is
like, this is
going.
stupid. She's like, nah, this is stupid. I ain't finna do this because now you done got me on TV. My mama can see me. Like, no, I'm not finna do this. Like, no, I don't like being told what to do. But well, like she said later on, I believe in the mission. Like, I believe in exploring strange new worlds. No pun intended. But anyway. So that all being said, she steals the Genesis device. She goes down. She manages to hijack a Federation ship, which is kind of cool to see that ship because I think the first time we saw that specific ship was in First Contact during the Borg incursion in that Borg space battle. I remember seeing that class ship. I don't know what class ship that is though, but I feel like it's. I feel like Keith is about to tell me in the next 30 seconds. But
I'm not sure either, but I'm trying to track it down.
I got you. So feel free to interrupt me.
Oh, it's called the story driver class. That's the ship. Go ahead.
Okay, so the story driver ship was stolen somehow by Jermaine. So the story driver ship was taken somehow by Mariner's mother's Starfleet code to activate the ship that she for some reason memorized. Why that works on another ship, I don't know. But we it's Mariner. It's not Mariner unless she steals a ship. Like she always manages to steal a ship. I think she stole the Cerritos once.
Yeah,
Well, anyway,
to quote Khan in The Wrath of Khan, we're all one big happy fleet. So
Right.
Yeah. So she steals the ship, flies it into a nebula, takes the Genesis device or newly improved portable miniature version of Genesis device, who has she, her pronouns, and takes it with her, puts it in the first officer seat, and her nickname is GD. Okay. I thought it meant goddamn, but I was wrong. So, but anyway, or goddess of the day, or anyway. So she takes off. Mariner's mom, Captain Freeman, is on the other side trying to figure out how to get through because there is this shield that apparently is so big. It really reminds you of Encounter at Farpoint when Q put up that shield. And if you really think about it, I think Q was just trying to bug him because he really didn't have to do all that. He was just doing that as a means to separate the ships because you knew what he was on. He's pretty much a god. Well, that all said, he's like, well, we can't get through the shield. And they put up this shield around somehow a whole star system, but he did. We can't get through. How do we get through? Well, Tindy's like, I know a way. So they go all the way to the Orion home planet where they manage to take an Orion ship, a big old battle ship that looks like the size of Titanic from Wish. It was just huge. It's just big. And I say Titanic from Wish because the thing doesn't work. It just doesn't work. None of it works. And of course, in order to get it, Tindy had a strike deal saying, I will give myself up back to my home planet because you've been wanting me here for years. I will come back if you give us a ship. The sister agrees. Well, the sister was like, well, like a pirate, I never told you if it was going to work or not. And I was just like, you dirty little bitch. Okay, cool. So that all said, skipping over that, they managed to get the ship. Rutherford and his engineering nemesis managed to hash things over a Mark Twain holodeck sesh. I guess it was therapeutic, and I guess it only works if they're twaining. I think that's what they called it, twaining. So they managed to get the ship. We don't know how they're going to do it because the thing doesn't work. It has no engines. It does not run. It has no life support. It has no weapons. It is literally a bucket of bolts. It's just a bucket of bolts. If the ship was a bucket of bolts, that would be that ship right there. All right, cool. So now fast forward, we see Boimler in the captain's seat. He's at the captain's seat, and I ain't gonna lie, he did that. He really did that. He even did like the whole chair thing where he's just like putting one elbow on one, and he's just like, and I'm like, okay. Look at you being all serious and stuff while tractor beaming the Orion ship behind them and flinging it into the shield, putting a hole in it for Captain Freeman and the captain's yacht to slide on through. Meanwhile, Mariner is getting chased by Nick's hamster wheel ship, and in the nebula that she's being chased in, or storm. I guess it's Iron Storm, or is it nebula? Which one is it, Keith?
It was a nebula with
It
a
was a
storm
nebula.
in it.
It was a nebula with a
Ion
storm
Storm.
in it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So now that's dope. Yep. So Nick manages to piss everyone off under him and around him and over him and all that other stuff. It was just bad. It was like, you can't tell us what to do. You can stay here and ride. And so they left it. They just left him. And so he throws a whole temper tantrum, gets his gun, beams on the ship. You can't do this to me. And he goes into a whole fight with Mariner. It was just crazy. And Mariner's trying to talk him down, trying to put some Starfleet sense into him. Like, bruh, like, calm down. Like, you don't have to do all this. You're not a murderer. He said, actually, I am. And I'm like, oh, look at you standing on your, stand on that. Stand on that. You crazy. Okay, great. So she knocks him out, and he pretty much says, well, I can disarm a bomb. I graduated top of my class. And she was like, you tried it because you didn't even graduate. I did. And even then, I stayed behind. You got kicked out. Like, so I don't know if he served time or not. I know Tom Paris did, which they did touch on that between Boimler and I think, who was at the helm? Was that Rutherford?
Rutherford.
Okay, like that's totally Tom Paris. So they are not related. They're not cousins. They're not brothers. They're not stepbrothers. They don't have the same daddy. And if they do, Admiral was keeping that to himself. So, because apparently this may run in the family. I'd like to see a prequel on Admiral Paris, to be honest, because I need to know how these two boys came about. Well, all that said, Freeman comes, gets Mariner, beams her off the ship. They impulse out of there. The ship explodes because apparently you need 2 bars of latinum just to disarm the thing. That was some ghetto mess. I ain't gonna lie to you. I screamed.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty. That was a nice little touch for a Ferengi device.
That was grade A modern day Ferengi arch. I like that. That was some good shit. Well, anyway, they get out of there and they get back to the Cerritos, which I gotta say the animation is. Can I just give a shout out to the animation that's been increasing every season? It's really getting good. Like really, yeah. So unfortunately, or I guess I don't have to say unfortunately, because she did this for herself and she went willingly. Tendi rejoined the Orions, and now she's going to take. I don't know if she's going to take her sister's place or do whatever, by her side, or something to that effect. But we know that she's still going to be royalty, and that's pretty much where we leave.
Well, when the Genesis bomb went off, also it went off in the nebula, created a new planet, the Ricardo planet or something. So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Catch you next week.
Bye.
Right. Bye, Jason.
So thoughts, I suppose.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Jason?
I like that. I like it. They kind of tied some things together that we were wondering. Of course, we were still wondering what was Ricardo doing? Where happened to the people that were taken? They just touched on Mariner's sort of side story, basically at the end, but we sort of wrapped that up in the previous episode, so we didn't need to touch on that too much. I like it overall. I thought it was pretty good episode. Nice way to wrap it up. Bye, Tendi.
Now, how long is Tendi going to be gone before she rejoins the crew next season?
They'll find a reason. They'll find a reason to bring her back.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Yeah, almost. I know Mariner left. I know Boimler left, and I know Tendi. It's Tendi's turn, and then probably in season 5 or 4 or 6, Rutherford's gonna be gone.
Yeah, people always leaving.
They always leave and come back. They always leave and come back. Leave and come back. Yeah. I want to know what happened to the black dude in season 1 or 2. He was fine.
Jet?
Oh, the big one.
The big one.
Big competition with Mariner.
Yeah, pretty much. Jet's still there.
Yeah. Kind of in the background.
He's just not part of the crew. They're not. What are they? The beta shift or what? But yeah, they're not beta shift anymore, so we don't see him.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he's still around.
Okay. Yeah.
Jermaine?
There's not much to say. There's really not much to say after the recap. It's just like we just need to talk crap about the show. Really,
Okay, talk
at this
crap
point.
about this. Okay.
Right. Well, according to
what-
Memory Alpha, by the way, it was the USS Pissarro, which is the Steam Runner class, as William pointed out, that was first seen fighting the Borg in Star Trek First Contact, and then later seen in Deep Space Nine episodes Favor the Bold, Sacrifice of Angels, Statistical Probabilities, The Magnificent Ferengi, After Image, and others as it continued the Dominion War arc.
Okay, it's a lot of Deep Space Nine.
Yeah. Well, it would figure. It was seen in the final episode of Voyager as well, Voyager Endgame, because it was one of the ships that, when the Borg sphere came through with Voyager inside, it was one of the ships that attacked the sphere.
So that was like 100 ships, though, right? So you could easily miss that.
Yeah. But yeah, so we've seen this ship, and of course it also appeared a lot in Picard, both in the regular Picard timeline and in the alternate Confederation timeline we saw in the beginning of season 2, also known as the season we don't talk about.
I got a question about, okay, let's look at, so last week's episode, they went to a planet and they had all these different species there, right? They were taken.
Right.
So were those people that were taken and did not conform?
Those were the commanding officers of those ships.
Right.
It was only the commanding officers. Okay.
They took the lower decks of each ship.
So they were,
yeah.
Yeah,
So-
Locarno didn't overpower the ships. He had all the lower decks of each ship working for him, and
Right.
they are the ones that made the ship inoperable
Mhm.
whenever his Nova 1 attacked.
right,
So-
because each one they were like, oh, someone did this or someone did that.
And only on the Ferengi ship did we see someone say no, knowingly say that something's happening. They
Right.
never knew it was happening. And of course, the Ferengis are the one that had the Genesis device as well. They did do a nice recap at the beginning of the episode, which even brought up the Genesis device again. So you knew from the recap that what was going to be important in this episode. And it wasn't Moopsy, damn it.
It wasn't Moopsy.
I need a Moopsy doll.
Yep.
So his threat was,
He was
do what
going
I
to use
want,
it.
or I'll use this on your planet, basically.
Right. And almost made it seem like I have, just because I have one doesn't mean I have only one. But then when Mariner ran off of it, it kind of weakened his threat.
Yeah, because he only had one.
So basically, Mariner was like, you either gonna leave me alone, pointing his gun at me while I'm unarmed with my hands up, or I'm gonna turn your butt into a planet.
Yep.
Basically. So who thought Mariner was gonna like play their little charade a little while longer when they were on the view screen?
She knew she was gonna get shot.
No, I mean when she took the Genesis device.
Yeah.
Like, did you think she's gonna like run that game along a little while longer? Because she was just kind of figuring out what the hell was going on, saying,
No, she wouldn't.
Nah, she's a woman of action. She wasn't gonna wait too long.
Yeah. She armed the device. Like she knew
Right.
she wasn't gonna.
Well, no, but we're talking about when she first took the device from him while he was on message, whether or not she was going to act along with him for a minute. Instead, and when she stepped forward to talk, she actually gonna
before
play the game.
okay.
because I thought they were gonna. I kind of thought they were gonna. She's gonna play along with him for a while, and then other people would think that she had turned because that's the type of thing that Mariner would do, and they were gonna run that story.
I did think that, and I think the Mariner from season 1 and 2 would have done that.
Yeah.
This Mariner had she already left Starfleet, came back. She came to terms with what she was struggling with all season 4. Really, if you think about it, all 4 seasons. And so she's had a lot of growth. And so she's like, yeah, I could do this, but I just simply don't have time for it because I already came to terms myself.
Yeah, Vindicta would have played along, but Mariner said the season 4 Mariner, she's like, all right, enough of this bullshit. I'm taking this thing, and we're getting out of here.
You know what I really want to see for season 3? I want to see Tendi try. She's gonna fail. I want to see her try to take over the Orion Syndicate, and then they throw her out, and then she goes back to Starfleet, which
For,
was probably part of her plan all along.
for season 3?
Season 5.
I'm saying season 3, season 5.
I don't think she's interested, but I guess she might. If she's there, she might feel the like
Well,
that's what she
No,
okay.
wants to do.
what I think is that it'll be part of her plan. Like
Right.
if she shoots too high, then they'll want to get rid of her, and then she'll go back to Starfleet.
Well,
We learned in Discovery that the Orions never joined Starfleet.
right.
Right.
So,
Oh, you mean
so-
even in the future? Yeah.
even in the future. So I don't know what impact Tendy's going to have now.
Correct, which is why I said she'll fail.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
well,
they still pirating. 100,000 years later, 900 years later.
Well, yeah, because we had the Emerald Chain in the 32nd century.
Yeah.
The combination of the Orions and the Andorians.
mhm.
And we did see a couple returns of other minor characters. We saw Petra from last season with the Archaeologist Guild
Yes.
Mm,
watching
it was
Nick
good.
Pizzorno's message.
Good to see her again.
And
Although we
some
didn't see
Andorians
her
watching it.
reaction.
No. But obviously, it was just kind of a throwaway cameo there. We didn't they didn't have the voice actress on for it. They just had one thing you could do with animation is just throw the person up there, and you don't need to have their voice.
I did think everybody sounded a bit older.
Yeah, Shannon
Yeah.
still does not sound the same that she did 20, 30 years
Or
ago.
Wesley Crusher.
Or
Yeah,
Rusty Crusher.
The only person who sounds the same is Nick.
No,
He sounds the same to me because Tom
No.
Paris, he has that same voice.
no, it's probably only because you've been listening to him for so long that no.
His
doesn't
younger
sound-
version doesn't sound the same.
No,
it
I went
doesn't?
back and watched First Duty the other night, and the voice is similar enough. It's not the difference between Shannon Phil in First Duty and Shannon Phil in this episode is very noticeable. There isn't. I didn't feel like it was as noticeable a difference in with Robert Duncan McNeil. So he still sounds pretty much the same.
Nah, it doesn't.
Okay.
You know what's weird? Did they actually tow that ship with the tractor beam from the Orion homeworld?
Yes.
I'm surprised they didn't do the whole you got to put a warp bubble around this ship so they can go to warp.
I think they did.
They would have to get to the.
They
They would
had
have
to.
needed to, right? They just didn't mention it.
Yeah, because you saw there was like a blue halo around the whole ship, and they were going as fast as they could. And so, yeah, because they would have never made it there on time on full impulse. They would have never made it on time.
Oh,
It would have
absolutely.
taken them years, So they definitely warped and did their own way. This is not a plot pet peeve. This is a creativity pet peeve. They had the opportunity to do a very brief scene. And I swear to God, if I would have directed this, I would have thrown this in there. So y'all remember on Encounter at Farpoint when the Enterprise was going past the field and you saw the screen was turning and everything like that. I was hoping they would do that same shot when they were moving away as the ship was impacting the field, but they never really did that. I was kind of hoping they would not necessarily warp away.
You're talking about.
Well, it was like, go ahead, Keith.
Well, they had all those other ships around her trying to catch her, so it wasn't like they could do it easily.
No, I was talking about when Boimler was towing the ship behind him, and when he let go, I was hoping to see the shot of them getting past the field and moving away. Of course, they got caught in the blast, but that's beside the point.
No, they needed to keep the attention there was on the explosion and the hole made in the field.
Yeah,
that's where it needed to be. So,
speaking of explosions, was the music a little bit more dramatic than usual?
Oh yeah, they used the music.
It's a lot of old music.
They used the music from Wrath of Khan for the.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was the fanfare from Wrath of Khan was what was playing as they towed the Orion ship up, and when they were hunting each other in the Ion Storm, it was the same music they used in the Mutara Nebula in Star Trek 2 as well.
A couple of the same shots too, I think.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I looked at it and I was like, they put some work into this music.
Mhm.
What orchestra did they hire?
Well, it's probably the same orchestra that worked on Picard.
Yeah.
it was obvious. It was an obvious Wrath of Khan remake. Especially you got the Genesis device, you got the Nebula. Um, they got some of the same shots, and you had the same scoring going on.
Yeah.
But I like it when they do that sort of thing.
It's really nice. It's really nice. I liked it.
And Spock didn't die.
No, Spock didn't die. I don't. Yeah, no one died. I mean,
Nick
Well,
Ricardo
Did
died.
Locarno die?
Frodo died.
I mean, like, yeah.
So we
but
think. So we
do we
think. You
really-
don't know. You don't
Look,
know.
here's the thing: his atoms live on in the planet, which I thought was a callback to Voyager. For not Q who Q the Q episode Quinn when he first appeared, he tried to
Death
kill
Wish.
himself.
Mhm.
Yeah, Death Wish. When so Q made the joke to B'Elanna saying, "Hey, your atoms may be what started the human form, like during the Big Bang
Mhm.
thing." So I thought it was kind of cool. Like I was like, okay, that's like a little nod to that joke, because his atoms are spread literally. So
Yeah, because he took both the Pissarro and Nova One up in that explosion in the center of that ion storm.
So I just want to talk about the captain's yacht.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
she's snoring over here.
We've seen them on the captain's yacht previously in the show, because that was a place that Mariner would like to go and hide stuff.
Have
Yes.
we ever seen a captain's yacht in any other iteration of Star Trek?
Star Trek Insurrection.
Insurrection.
The captain's yacht from the Enterprise E.
And I did see a deleted scene, or rather a cut scene from Voyager when they used the captain's yacht.
Yeah.
Because technically
that.
under there, this is what I learned. And I think I learned this from Keith and Marie. Under Voyager, the captain's yacht is actually right there. It's right there.
It's
and
on the other side of the saucer, directly below. You have the
Directly
bridge
below.
on top, you have the yacht on the bottom.
But they were worried, or something to the effect of they didn't want too much attention taken away from the TNG films, specifically Insurrection. So they moved that idea to Insurrection and used the captain's yacht there. But there was a scene that they did do in the pilot episode where they did use the captain's yacht, and it was really, really cool. Like, so but
I think they should have used it. You should have used it more. They should have found ways to use it more.
Yeah. They said that they wanted to give more attention to the Sovereign class Enterprise than the Intrepid class, because they were roughly happening ish at the same time.
Well,
Yeah.
but Voyager was shot over 7 years.
That's what I'm saying. And so were like the TNG Trek films from First Contact was 97 all the way to Nemesis, which was 2005.
But why not do both?
Well, I'm saying I would have loved for it to do both, but I'm just saying that's what they said. Yeah.
It's on limitations of what you could do on a TV budget versus a movie budget. And they were willing to design and use the captain's yacht separately on a movie budget, but not on the TV. Even though it practically is just a slightly larger shuttle in a way.
I mean, and they had runabouts.
Yeah.
They had runabouts. Yeah.
What's the difference between a runabout and a shuttlecraft?
Runabouts are much bigger.
And faster.
Yeah. And they are meant for long-term use. I mean, for long-distance use.
And a captain's yacht is just a bigger version of a runabout.
Sort of, yes.
And they also have I guess the Delta Flyer is just.
Delta Flyer is special.
So Delta Flyer is in between a regular shuttlecraft and a runabout as far as size. Because remember, we saw in the one episode of Next Generation how the runabout had the huge room in the back where they had bunks and everything.
Yeah.
And a table. Where we didn't see that at all on Deep Space Nine, despite the plethora of runabouts used in that series.
Okay, so were there any other points that we saw a captain's yacht other than Voyager and Insurrection and now Lower Decks?
I mean, like I said, there were other references throughout Lower Decks to it.
Wait a minute. Where did this captain's yacht detach from on the Cerritos?
It's the base of the saucer. So, yeah, I'll use the USS Intrepid here. So you have the bridge on the top, and you have some on the bottom here is where the captain's yacht usually is.
Okay. What ship is that, by the way?
This is the UES Intrepid.
Oh.
So
The
United
UES.
Earthship Intrepid.
Oh, that must have been the first Intrepid. Okay.
Yes. From Enterprise.
Okay. So
what do you think this entire season has been about? Like, what's the story arc for the season? Mostly about Mariner, you think? Of course.
Well, Tendi as well. I mean, this was a big Tendi episode. We saw her. We got returned to Orion. We saw her taking her place, and the look on her face when she turned away from the Cerritos when leaving on the Orion ship. The way my daughter was watching with me, and she said she was kind of doe-eyed and bright-eyed when she was looking at the Cerritos. When she turned around, she got with much more severe look on her face.
She was getting in character.
Yeah.
Which is why I really hope to see more of the Orions in next season. Just to give us I guess a better look into their culture.
Yeah. Considering they've been in Star Trek from the very beginning, we still haven't dealt a lot with them. Even though Enterprise took major steps forward on them, Discovery did, and now Lower Decks actually seen the homeworld for the first time.
Well, they don't really like to deal with Terrans and Federation as much as possible. But of course, I guess they're kind of sort of like the Andorians were in Enterprise. But then they were forced to work together several times.
I was in Orion for Halloween.
Oh, I thought that was Shrek.
Dude, no time for that foolishness.
I know he didn't. Jermaine, be quiet. Don't say a word. Don't say a word.
I will say that there was, for the only time this season, there was a Ready Room episode that was released this morning.
Oh?
Will Wheaton interviewed Jerry O'Connell and Don Lewis, Captain Freeman and First Officer Ransom, talking about the whole season. And of course, Wheaton pointed out how this was his one and only appearance on Lower Decks.
You really thought I looked like Shrek?
No, I did not. No, I didn't. First of all,
he's messing with you.
You have to stop listening.
You said I look like Shrek.
Giving value to anything that I say.
You baited me.
I did bait you.
Why? No. Why?
No, we all saw you on Orion for Halloween.
You know how long it took that green paint to get on me? I went and got my hair done for that costume.
Where did you get that green paint from?
Don't worry about it. The point is, I got the green paint on me, and that's after I straightened my hair. Do you know how long that took?
No. How long?
An hour and a half.
I can see you really
so long.
I can see you're really touched by this.
And it rained that day. Do you know what rain does to African American hair after it's straightened?
Well, at least it wasn't snowing like it was around here.
I'd rather take the snow.
True that. I would too, actually.
All right, are we good now? Do we let this go?
He's not gonna let that go.
Jason was just messing with you, William. Come on.
Did you at least get some candy?
Yes, just not the kind you think.
You Orions.
What? Look, I was a pirate. I took what I wanted, okay? And I ate. And I enjoyed what I ate. See, Jermaine is on mute and I know exactly what he said.
Devour the spoils.
I mean, just, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. He asked. I answered. Oh, dear.
Hi, sibling.
Hi.
I love you.
I love you more. Hi. That's Evan. He's keeping me in check. Jesus.
What's up, Evan?
Jason said, "What's up?"
Wait, where's this?
Okay.
That's Jason.
What's happening?
Hey,
He
Evan.
said, "What's happening?"
I thought you were coming in to tell Will to come wash the dishes or something. It's your turn. But you know it's Thursday and I got my show. But it's still your turn.
Jason, why do you do this?
Oh boy.
You know what you're doing.
Do we have anything else to talk about?
I don't know.
I got the news list. So.
I'm hoping Michael will jump in at some point. You know he jumps in on the last 10 minutes.
Can I just say, wait a minute, that's Michael when he come in. He just coming in out of nowhere. Let me just say this.
Marie, can you please come in and help us, please?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad to see Marie doing good with her. I loved seeing our nephews in the Halloween photos and the Trek costume and everything. I'm glad she's doing good. Just hoping that she keeps her head up in everything that's going on. We miss her, we love her, and all that. I miss her tutelage.
Yeah, she's been off like nearly this whole season, right?
No, I wouldn't say the whole season.
Most of the season, yeah.
Most of the season, 60%, I say.
Yeah, that's a good number. But we love all, and we have a good number here now, But yeah. So anyway, Keith, you were saying.
Okay, well, first about this episode, before we move on, there were people that were nitpicking Mariner saying that she was Cito's friend because in Lower Decks, the episode Lower Decks, season 7 of TNG, when Picard confronts Cito, she talked about how tough it was for her after the accident, in which she said, "I had no friends. I couldn't even find someone to partner with me. The instructor had to partner with me when I did my flight test." So that had people nitpicking, how can Mariner be her friend? So by having this little bit we had on this episode showing that she wasn't really a friend, but she was definitely a person who had a bit of hero worship for her.
Yeah, it's kind of like Mariner was like a freshman at that point, and the other was like a junior or something like that.
Yeah, I believe Cito was what would be a junior in regular college. It would have been
I'm not gonna nitpick on that. I'll just let it go.
When do you not nitpick?
I don't nitpick on everything.
Yeah,
you nitpicked on Evan's red hoodie the other week.
That was first of all, that was like 5 weeks ago. 5. And I got a red hoodie on now, in respect.
You wore a red hoodie then.
Was I? I gotta stop wearing this hoodie.
Yeah. I did go back and watch First Duty, Lower Decks, and Corvite Maneuver this past week. Recap, looking back at the things that were spotlighted in last week's episode. So I guess a return to see Star Trek 2 would be a good one to see after this.
Hey man, you all right, man?
Jermaine is
Jermaine is enjoying every second of this episode.
Personalities are on display, and I'm loving it.
I mean, like, here's the thing, Jermaine. I've been meaning to tell you this for a minute. I ain't said nothing all year, but I love the improvements and all the work you've been doing to your room. It looks really nice.
Yeah, you an alpha?
Of course he's an alpha. That's not the point. I meant like all the other, I see the comics on the side. I see your horror down there. I see
Jason, it's been there for a while.
All
of it has been there for a while. The only thing that I did differently was it's just now black. So now you can really see it.
I probably noticed it before, but just didn't say nothing. That's all.
I mean, I've seen it at the beginning of the year. I just didn't say anything till now. I don't know why. It was just on my heart to say it right now. But yeah. So what news do we got? Is it over? Is it done? Did we win?
Okay. First bit of news. From the Star Trek shop, announced today, new partnership with Funko Pop Star Trek Lower Decks now available. You can get Mariner, you can get Fendi, Rutherford, or Boimler as a Funko Pop now available. So those was new launched today. Let's see, where's the other thing? So this was a crazy thing. The original Starship Enterprise, the 3-foot model that what is this foolishness? Thank you, Jermaine. So the original 3-foot model that was used in publicity stills and the filming of the cage and earliest episodes, it had been sitting on Gene Roddenberry's desk. When they went to film something in third season after Gene was no longer allowed on Paramount lot, they asked to borrow it, and then it was never returned. They claimed it was stolen. No one knew what happened to it. It showed up on eBay this past week.
No.
And the bid got up to $1,000 before it was pulled. And they checked it against the images of it pictured in Roddenberry's office. Alex Perry reported on X, formerly known as Twitter, "This is absolutely wild. The long lost 3-foot filming miniature of the USS Enterprise, stolen from Gene's office in the 70s, showed up on eBay overnight, listed by someone who purchased an abandoned storage unit. Analysis of the photos show it is likely genuine." And the thing was taken down. Aaron Walke, a friend of the show, Aaron Walke, said that was absolutely, well, he said his response was WTF. But it is now apparently Roddenberry is stepping in order to try to reclaim this lost item. And they're going to pay the guy. The bid was up to $1,000 when he took down the page. But yeah, the original Starship Enterprise is returning to Roddenberry after being gone for 50 years.
Yeah.
All right. And if you watch the Ready Room today on Paramount Plus, they did talk about the fact that the next up is Discovery returning in early 2024. Not sure whether it's going to be most likely January. We don't know what point in 2024. And we did figure out last week that the 17th is a Wednesday next year, so it will not fall on January the 17th, aka 1701 day.
Oh.
So, but we will get Discovery season 5 going from there. At some point in the next month, Prodigy season 1 will be posted to Netflix, and then Prodigy season 2 will start coming out in 2024. Beyond that, of course, we know Picard is done. Strange New Worlds has not yet started filming again because the SAG-AFTRA strike continues. There was some movement. There is a belief that they are in the final stage of the negotiations. It was funny. Jerry Ryan has been on the picket line every single day, such that on Halloween she was sporting a captain's vest. She has been promoted to strike captain for SAG-AFTRA. And so she had on the purple captain's vest, and somebody showed up dressed as her as their Halloween costume. Her, dressed for
the Voyager version. Of...
No, Jerry Ryan, the striking art actor. So this woman showed up in blonde wig, dressed in the way Jerry was dressing, and she had a name tag on that said, "My name is Jerry," and everyone was posing with her, including Jerry, as a friend of hers that dressed up as her. So, but yeah, that continues. President of the Union, Fran Drescher, said she's going to keep on working until they get a good deal for the actors. Once that happens, it's expected that we will then begin filming of season 3 of Strange New Worlds and of the Section 31 movie. The scripts are done. Since the writer's strike has been over for almost a month now, they've been able to get all the writing caught up. So now it's time to get back to filming. So they just need the actors to show up back for work, which would take the end of the strike.
Hopefully they'll be done by Thanksgiving.
Yes, hopefully the strike will be over by Thanksgiving. That is the goal at this point. Let me see if there was something else. I think that covers everything I had. So hopefully we're going on a break now. So if you have any thoughts on what we should do in the intervening weeks, please leave your comments below. But we're going to have at least 2 months until Discovery returns. And in 2024, we should have Discovery Season 5, Strange New World Season 3, Prodigy Season 2, Lower Decks Season 5, and Season 1 of Starfleet Academy. Yes.
Wait, that's in 2025?
2024.
2024,
So-
season 1 of
They're
Starfleet Academy.
saying
What is-
all 2024?
What is the premise of Starfleet Academy?
As far as we know, they have not told us what time period it's going to be set in, but it's believed that it's going to be a direct spin-off of Discovery, because Tilly left the Discovery in season 4 to go work at the new relaunched Starfleet Academy. And she is going to show up in season 5. And the trailer that they showed on the Ready Room today, she did appear. So it's believed that that's the most likely thing of they're going to continue Starfleet Academy at the 32nd century Starfleet Academy. So it's rebuilding Starfleet for a new era of exploration.
Sounds
Now, the original pitch when they tried to do Starfleet Academy in the 90s was that they were going to do Kirk, Spock, and McCoy sitting around talking about their time in the Academy, and then having younger actors play younger versions of themselves at the Academy. And that was the original plan for Star Trek 6 before Chernobyl. So
I'm sorry, Star Trek 6 was gonna be a movie that would lead to the spinoff of the original Starfleet Academy.
Star Trek 6 was going to be Star Trek 6 Academy, in which they would talk about relive their Academy days, and that there would be something that would have happened at the Academy when Kirk was there that was going to come back. Some enemy would be returning after all these years, with Kirk about to retire.
Oh, okay.
What big nemesis does Kirk have that we have
Then
not
again.
seen?
So-
yeah,
So basically today's episode, then someone
in
from
a
the
way,
Academy days that you never thought would have came back but did.
Yeah.
And homeboy lost his galaxy privilege, and he got mad, and I call it galaxy privilege in this case, but okay, all right.
And the cast interviews that are on today's Ready Room really applaud Mike McMahon at the idea of who would have thought of Nick Locarno coming back. That was
I remember
inspired.
you said it. You said it last week. No one could have ever paid you to or believe, or you would have never guessed in 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Because
And it was great because Rutherford saying he looks like Paris, and Boimler, I don't see it. It's like he looks exactly like him. No, I still don't see it.
right.
all they did was just put a 5 o'clock shadow over the band.
Yep, and some gray hair.
Well, he looks so much older than what Mariner looks like. Like the time.
They were all older than her.
He's had a rougher life over the past 13 years.
Stress.
So.
He aged faster.
But if you watch the Ready Room, Robert Duncan McNeil does appear on it, and he is older with the full beard, so he kind of looks like Nick Locarno does.
Yeah. Jermaine, be quiet. Just stay on mute. Does anyone hear a buzzing sound?
I do.
Huh? No, not Ty snoring, an actual buzzing sound. Like,
Is there anything else we need to talk about?
I hear a little bit of a buzzing.
I have nothing. I have nothing, boss. I loved it. I give it 9 out of 10.
Checking trekmovie.com, make sure there wasn't anything else that came out. Let's see, Funko Pops. All right. Picard makeup designer reveals Star Trek 4 pre-production shut down in 2022 over script issues. So any hopes of having another Star Trek movie anytime soon?
Let's just let go of the Abrams films. Let's just let it go. Let's just let it go. They tried for how long has it been since not Into Darkness?
Not 2017,
Beyond.
was it?
2017.
It was the 50th anniversary. It was 2016. It was released on as close as possible to the 50th anniversary date. That's all we got for the 50th anniversary.
7 years.
Yep.
7 years. Yo.
I'd like to get a movie going.
Well, that's Section 31.
There are 2 new novels that are going to be released in 2024. One featuring Ensign Rowe, and one featuring Dr. Gillian Taylor visiting Deep Space Nine.
Oh wow!
So we'll have continued stories with Rowe, throwing in the hole between her leaving for the Maquis and coming back to Picard, and continuing what happened with Gillian Taylor from Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home.
That sucks that they had to kill her off in Picard.
Yes, and she's come out how she was disappointed that they chose to kill her. She had a very short amount of time.
Wait a minute, I thought she asked for that.
Well, she said that they could only have her for a short amount of time. So whatever they could do to resolve her story.
And we're not exactly sure that she died.
Yeah, they could have pulled her off at the very last second.
Yeah.
And said she died.
That is possible.
Because she
Or
was
she from
yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Or she played it off like she was dying, and she herself saved herself.
Could be, yeah.
I just wanted her to meet Kira Nerys just one time. That's all I ever wanted.
Yeah.
That's all I ever wanted.
Hey girl, you remind me of me.
Right.
And then she says, I don't see it.
Oh, by the way, there is a 5th Funko Pop. There is a Badgie Funko Pop as well. So it's the 4 main cast and Badgie. No to Lynn, unfortunately.
A Funko Pop is that little big bobblehead thing that's a little doll. What's a Funko Pop?
This is a Funko Pop. This is the Funko Pop Saru.
That's Saru?
That's Saru.
Does he have his ganglia?
I thought that was a meatball.
Yes. It's down there. But yeah, that's a Funko Pop.
It's like E.T.
Yeah, they did a Funko Pop for what's her name? Shaniqua's character, Burnham. Yeah, so they did one for Burnham and they did one for Saru, and now they've done it for all of Lower Decks.
Okay, guys. Yeah, thank you all so very much for joining us. Until next time, see you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm not gonna ever say it on the internet. Yeah, never. yeah.
I'm sorry. Wait. There was a shadow of a church.
Okay. What?
William has questionable
I didn't
ideas
catch
about
that
what he
one.
puts. William has questionable ideas about what he puts on the internet.
Oh, I remember that episode.
Uh-huh.
I remember that episode. Yeah.
Wait, what?
We put on an audio version of this podcast.